Hello there everyone, and welcome back to Empire Total War with the Pirate Uberalis mod. Last time around we dealt with the Savoy, kinda. We blocked them anyways, by handing over territory to our allies, the Genoese. We also dealt a blow to the Russian and took his capital. Well, his capital at the time. Now he's moved to a single region, and hopefully we'll be able to organize all our troops to strike in one big battle right here. And that is also what we're trying. Oh yeah, we're building out our own version of the Caspian Sea Fleet, and we'll see if we can face off against the Russian Caspian Sea Fleet at some point. And now it's finally time for us to deal with the Ottomans. Now, there's quite a few of them. I'm hoping that we're gonna fight them in one single battle, which very well could happen. But I'm thinking here that we're gonna move up everyone, and then Armfelt is gonna move into the attack. So we're gonna have Hagen in support. We're gonna have all this Swedish line infantry, the new units, coming in. And we're gonna have this army coming in as well, full of grenadiers and extra horses and stuff. So let's go ahead and trot in to the interception zone. And they do intercept, but as the AI usually does, they intercept with the smallest force possible. 900 men. They do bring one of those huge Ottoman cannons. They're gonna be reinforced by a total of 13,000 men, so we're looking at a rather large battle. I will also be reinforced by about 13,000 men. So, and Armfeldt's army right now is mostly comprised of infantry. So we pushed the number, so normally the armies are around 6,000 men. Now, because it's almost entirely infantry, we've pushed it up to 8,000 men in this army. Which could be a slight problem because I'm not going to have cavalry enough to ride down retreating enemy forces. But I think we'll do fine anyways. One thing that I will do is I will go ahead and move the generals for each one of these armies to the very back, because the last thing I need is generals taking up space. Why are you not able to? Oh, but it's because it's outside of the box there, right? But that's done. So then, let's go ahead and fight these Ottoman force. And so the battle starts. I have decided to move on the enemy. We've got plenty enough troops to do so. And with new technologies, we have a lot higher accuracy. And also, what I've gone ahead and done is I have deployed the units, as can be seen, in a lot thicker formations to withstand the Ottomans' cavalry attacks. We'll see how that goes as the entire line now basically gets overrun by Ottoman cavalry. I will have to deploy my heavy cavalry with one unit that gave way. It has a lot of troops left though. They just keep piling on troops there. The first enemy commander is dead. Look at that, that's square all along the line. Right, I'm gonna throw in the heavy cavalry here into the back of the Baghdad cavalry. We still got plenty of troops coming in here. I'm gonna get these 4 to line up like that. And then we've got an additional amount of units. So we got 3, 4 coming in there. Gonna be, and these were part of kind of the troops that got stuck there. So I'll move them to join in with the troops on that side. Alright, heavy cavalry is engaged fighting there. Everyone is kind of moved into square here. Let's see about dropping some of the squares that are in between the units of line. Now this one should work as... Okay, so we got second unit retreating. Heavy cavalry is in there. We've got the new troops on the way. We're going to take up the ridge that's going through here. Very heavy concentration of Ottoman cavalry. I think we might be able to actually, just as I break the square, he charges. I think we can break this square. Right, my heavy cavalry is forced back. However, my troops have just now come up onto the ridge and should be able to lay fire into the oncoming cavalry. Meanwhile, we've got... Right, we're getting charged here. That's not great. One's gonna move in on the attack while the other 3 forms line behind. So I've got 3 retreating units. They will rally though, I'm pretty darn sure. Let's see about moving these forward. Continuous Ottoman cavalry attacks are working their way through my lines. However, as soon as these 2 are set up and they start shooting into the side of this one, that's gonna break. And the new units on the hill, this one will turn to face that way, and these 2 will march this way. So one thing that the new units have is they actually have longer range for their guns. They have about 5 points more in range. I'm gonna form you into square. And I'm gonna order you into square again. Right, so we are firing volleys onto the side of the Sekban units. The hill should hopefully start firing into this as well. The 18th is hard pressed though, lost half its manpower. Same with the 9th. However, the Ottoman force were broken there. And the cavalry force as well. I do think the 9th regiment is gonna break. That is not gonna have enough power to continue that fight. Right, advance the units. Let's make sure that no units are turning up behind us. So this one is not coming back, but these 2 did. So we'll order them forward. Alright, the 9th is falling back together with the 18th. So now it's the 67th the 67th and the 13th that is under attack by Ottoman cavalry. And now we have the new units coming down here as well, fighting even more cavalry that's moving forward. However, we continue in these very thick formations to strike into the Ottomans. Heavy fighting. They got lots and lots of cavalry. They keep pouring in. The 100th. The 100th Regiment. It looks like they've switched to firing everyone at the same time now as they're fighting, as they're shooting at cavalry. What's this? Oh, this infantry is set up on the hill. Let's see if we can't outwit that unit. Another enemy commander falls. And we have another large cavalry attack. These two will break their squares and move up to flank fire onto these. The 67th has broken its square. Let's see if we can't push up the flank while these will fire onto the enemies on the hill. And then these two rallied units move forward. Oh, only 6 men out of the 9th managed to get out of there. Form square. What are you waiting for? I wonder, why aren't you firing? So that's one thing that obviously isn't that great with the fire by rank, is that you'll end up with these times during the battle where the unit doesn't fire. However, once I order them to fire against the cavalry, okay, the 98th forced to withdrawn, as well as the 67th. However, the 13th stands tall. And we got more Ottoman cavalry coming in. Jeez, that's a large unit. Gonna bring in more troops into this mess. Meanwhile, my cannons have been firing on their... Oh, we have actually destroyed one of their cannons. Through all this fire has been going that way. I feel like it's probably time to pull back slightly, try and reorganize the troops that I have left, and then figure out how to continue the advance. We have worked quite well against the enemy. And we've broken down multiple of their attacks. I think moving up here to claim this hill is probably a pretty good choice. Set up against that unit right there. Oh, they completely moved through the 13th. Soon enough, though, the 13th will get support from the 101st up here on the hill, the Swedish paratroopers. Oh, they rode through this square and is now coming to attack the 101st in the back. Need to get the 13th out of there, otherwise it's going to be overwhelmed. Luckily, I've got the 15th to support here, and the 19th is going to be moved in next to the 5th and support right there. Okay, you're moving through the fire, which is not that great. Right, they were broken. Drop the square, and then both of these will set up on the hill, and I'm gonna get the 13th out of there before the Kurdish hillmen get them. Enemy open fire here. We got these two fighting against the cavalry. Should be able soon here to win this fight, as we are setting up to have multiple units firing into them, forcing them to withdraw, forcing the cavalry to withdraw. Okay, the 13th have basically made it out of there. But the Kurdish hillmen are hot on their trail. Right, drop the square and go into line to support here. Support the 13th against the Kurdish hillmen. Put a little extra push there. Right, we pushed the enemy away from these high ground, from this high ground right here. So we've got a hill here, we've got a hill here, and I want to push this hill forward to this side, and then I would also like this hill. So here, here, and here. So I would hold the high ground against the oncoming enemies, which are coming out through here. The enemy has, if defeated here, they have basically nowhere to retreat besides right into the sea. Big formation is falling back. Oh, that's bloody hand mortars. There's a risk here that this unit will not actually accomplish anything by such a move. We'll abandon moving on this hill and just move in more troops here to support this attack. I'm gonna push in another unit to make sure that we push this one away. It's this guy, I don't know where he's going, trying to flank us. And the units that moved in here being forced back. As soon as the 19th start to open fire into the side of the regiment there. Right, we've forced those guys back. However, we've got cavalry coming in pretty rapidly here. Let's move this one to the back. Have these two join the line there. Okay, form square. The Ottomans are pushing too hard right there, and there's a risk of this entire line collapsing. Same with quite a bit of trouble in this area as well. I'm gonna have to fall back quite a bit to reorganize in the face of oncoming enemies. These two are gonna have to counterattack on that one, because otherwise they will break as it stands right now. Let's see. This one has pretty good position for flank fire. And then these two will break the square, and all these three will form into line here against these. Okay, they broke. They're overwhelmed by the Ottoman melee infantry. However, we were able to pull back here and form a line, but now when my advance has been split in two, we've got quite the trouble here, as this entire side could end up in a rather bad situation. And currently the 23rd, I believe I ordered you to fire, not to melee charge. Perhaps I did. We're gonna have to do something about the 23rd, which is about to get overrun here. This side of the hill, though, is holding on. We're gonna have to, I'm so close to getting at the gun there. We're gonna deploy these two that way. And then you, I feel like you should be able to get into a position where you can subdue this battery even more. I'm gonna get all my artillery to focus in here, even though there's a high risk of friendly fire. We've got multiple attacks coming in here. 400 men coming up the slopes. Well, looks like they were... Oh, they were just ready to fire there. Good. Right, we fired a volley into the flank here. The Ottoman, while their melee infantry is impressive, they tire. And with that, they end up getting overrun by my countercharge. And the artillery there probably helped as well. I'm gonna order the artillery to fire on the hillmen. We overrun the enemy position there. The guns forced away. Good. The troops will now retire towards a new line that needs to be built. Lots of dead Ottomans in this position right here. I'm gonna go ahead and get all of these guys into line. And then we're almost at half time of the battle, and if I want to win, I need to continue to push towards this zone out here. You need to move up like that, and then these two like this, and then these are about to potentially get outflanked by the hillmen, and then we'll do this, and then just you'll shorten your line slightly. Oh, you're out of fire, you're out of shots. That's not good. Form here for a counter charge, and you guys are also out of shot. That's not good. That's 3 units that run out of bullets. God damn it! cavalry attack. Form square in preparation. Let's set up here for a charge. And then I'm going to have to move these reserve troops into the fight that I had saved. Oh, these they charged in on us. We didn't have to charge in on them. Okay, stop that charge. Let's see if the archers wants to march into that and get charged instead. Heavy cavalry attacks. Yet again coming in here. Good volleys. Whatever the 15th regiment have plenty to do against the enemy. Charge this way and then you charge forwards. Right, the enemy is once again broken, but I'm gonna have to fall back through here a little bit to find a good spot. The enemy is forced away here. Unfortunately, because I don't have the cavalry to follow up the enemy's defeat, a lot of their troops are getting away because the general wants to die. Now we've killed plenty of their troops for sure. Let's go ahead and form you into square just to get that boost, that little morale boost. And then the guns will fire on this unit instead. Right, you will move back. And then unfortunately we won't be able to chase all these down. Focus in on the general's bodyguard. It seems like they're still coming out from this area. So it could just be that one army that is reinforcing so far. Because I haven't... or they would... I think all of them would be coming from this area. They wouldn't be coming from anywhere else, given the location of where the troops came from. Let's see, the 15th is the only one with ammo. This guy rides straight in front of the firing lines and get evaporated by all that fire. Move up slightly. Oh yeah, they're still coming out. They're still coming out here. It's almost I reached them. And then there's troops coming out here. If I had... If we are to win here, we're gonna send everyone off the field. So I'm gonna reroute this force, the reserve force, move through around the hill and strike here in the back, and we'll see if we cannot get rid of oh, now you're down to just melee as well. We'll see about getting into a position where we can you know what, this cleared up here pretty well. So we'll have these three move here, and then once this is defeated, this can move forward. And we'll move the new lines closer to where the enemy is coming from. See the artillery fire on that. Troops are they're fresh. I was thinking they might be tired. Let's go ahead and set up to fight these. My artillery was set to fire on this, if I remember. Yes. Okay, so I have 4 units that don't have any ammo. 5 units actually that don't have any ammo. 6 units that don't have any ammo. I have 4 with ammo. Baghdad cavalry is coming in. The 4 with ammo is going to form new line, while the ones with out ammo is going to go in charge, try and get rid of these. At a point it looked like I was going to be able to push here, but now it looks like once again they have been able to get more infantry to come to their aid. The 23rd looks like they are not doing too well against this cavalry charge that's come in. Keep getting cavalry from all over that place. Get rid of that. I ordered you to fire, goddammit you! Oh, now you're out of shot as well. Well, it would be shame to lose the 23rd, so I'm gonna order them back. They've got another unit coming in, another big unit of cavalry. Now there's only 3 units with ammo here. I don't know where this one's going. He's going towards us here. They'll snag onto this, and then this unit can shoot it down. Well, now it doesn't look like... Are they going to be able to... They can't move through there. I don't think we'll be able to push forward now, as it is right now. We'll use them here to aid in making sure that the enemy doesn't cut through. These troops need to come back. There's no point in having you out there fighting those assholes. Instead, fight there. I do have grenadiers, and I think that's going to make quite the difference once the grenadiers come in and deal with all these Ottoman blobs. Make a line there. Right, I'm gonna order you to leave. Right, the veterans of past war, and they're gonna be backed up then by the melee corps. Wait, where are you going? They're going, of course, to the closest end of the map, and that's actually going into the enemy, which is just great, isn't it? Stand back here then. Where are you going? Drop square. Very quiet all of a sudden. These 3 set up next there. You'll join here. Okay, hit them and allow the 2 units that can actually fire to fire. Okay, we've got veterans of past war now being able to fire. Oh no, hand mortars. Let's see, these two regiments need to be moved in. Veterans of past war is going to get destroyed by the hand mortars if that continues, but it looks like the hand mortars are actually moving forward. The two grenadiers, damn it, the two grenadiers will set up behind veterans of past war. Oh, we've got more bloody hand grenades going off here. And cavalry attacks. I'm gonna get the grenadiers into the fight here. Okay, everyone's kind of out of shot now, which is becoming a bigger and bigger problem here. Okay, you need to hold fire because there's no point in you shooting right now. Charge into that mess. And then cannons will fire for their not their artillery, their cavalry, I mean. Oh, we got a big rout here. Go through and slaughter them all. If you can. And then, you know what, these two will retreat down the hill. And these two will also retreat, and now the two reserve regiments will move up, and then we just have a bunch of veteran regiments that will let's see if you can't make it behind the new line before you get destroyed. Right, the two grenadiers and the veterans of past war need to organize out of this. This is one of the few of the original units that are still able to fire. You guys need to come back. And then the guns, we need to see if we can hit this one in the back. I'm gonna throw in the 20th Regiment. There's not actually that many Ottoman units left on the field, is there? We've been fighting back and forth over this sort of valley and the hills beyond here. And, you know what? It kind of looks like they're not getting any more reinforcements. Or is that just me being very optimistic at what's going on right now? Then veterans of past war and the two grenadiers will go and hit this unit. The archers that are coming out here. The hand mortars leave before the fight even starts. And yes, it looks like there's no more units coming through here. Which means that this would be the last unit. Right, march up and take control of the hill. And then you three will march towards this. I'm hoping here that my guns might send this unit away before it actually comes close enough to fight us properly. That is not going to be the case, is it? I can tell right now. Veterans of the past war will form square and the grenadiers will hide behind them. And then these two will form square, interlocked with each other. And they will receive the armored cavalry. I'll order my guns to hold fire. There's no point in firing into my own men. Since they have attacked that, these three can continue towards the archers over there. Point blank on the retreating cavalry, which retreats through my units. Wonderful. Right, 2 squares. Drop that. You will be moving that way. Okay, so this is the last then. Let's see if we can't hit him with the grenadiers and get him out of play and earn us the victory. And here we go, here comes the grenades. The first round of grenades. Second rounds of grenades. And then charge. Grenadiers and the veterans of past wars to see the archers off. And with that, the road to Constantinople should be open. We deploy a total of 21,000 men against 14,000 defenders. We ended up losing 4,400 men, while the enemy lost about 9,000 men. We remain at a force of 17,000 men, while they have 5,000 men left after the battle. 4,400 is a high loss. However, I felt that I needed to move into and attack them rather than to sit and form a line kind of around the cannons, because there were so many men that needed to be defeated, 14,000, that if perhaps I would have waited and been passive, then the timer would have run out simply. I think we ended up with doing the battle under around at 40 minutes. But yeah, hopefully not too many units died. We know that at least one died, or completely destroyed, with only 6 men remaining. So there's oh, general staff, damn. The cannons, there's no, I think it's only that one unit that lost so many. The highest killers goes to enlisted Swedish regiment. This could very well have been the 15th, perhaps. That oh, they didn't lose the 15th. I don't think the 15th lost that many, or perhaps they did. Killed 678, followed by Swedish line infantry, which is, I believe, the new units that we recruited. High losses, but 600 kills there, and you can go through as you see here. Demi cannons did rather poorly. Killed about 30 each, or not even that, 23 for one of them. So they didn't do that much, but I'm sure there was a morale debuff because of that. Okay, so 2 units were completely destroyed, and the rest of them... Perhaps I should have moved the ships, and in that way force them to leave that area. But the town should be ours for the taking now. If I move Hagen up and lay siege to the town, it's still not that clear of a victory, actually. However, that's because they spawn up 6,000 men in defense of the town. If I now attack the troops that are behind the town, I should be able to kill them separately, which I bring out my 17,000 men against their 4,000 men. Should be an auto-resolve. We lost 1,600 men. They lost 2,000. Now I should have moved the ship. God damn it. But no, actually, because all their units were destroyed because of that. It sounded like he said said trash, but he said sweep them away. But he said the first part so slowly. Wonderful. Aggressive attacker for Hagen. Kullberg gets steady on the command and attacking general. Helmer gets mentioned in dispatches. Hagen is confident general, and Kullberg is also a confident general. Right, then it only remains the 6,000 in Constantinople. And this is clearly an out-result. I can demand surrender to give them the option, but as it is their capital, not very likely, is it? So instead, we're gonna have to slaughter them all. 14,000 men against 6,000 defenders. We lose 2,000 men in the process of the attack, while the defenders end up losing everything. And it's not interesting since we didn't really play the battle. And lagging a bit, but then the town is mine. So there we have it. Constantinople is back in our hands, and this time around it'll stay in our hands because I'll make sure of it this time around. With this territory seized, I do think we should go ahead and sign a peace treaty with the Ottomans, perhaps. Unless the end turns continue the way they have, because then I would have to attack and make sure that we destroy all these forces, just so that they don't continue to cause that much problem. I might have to move in and take the Anatolian region. And I'm gonna take my navy to go along the coast here to take a look at what they've got in these areas as well, if they're making a load of money from these areas right here. If they do, then I might have to invade and destroy all of that and just rip up all of the Ottomans' infrastructure. Anyways, with all of this said, it's high time that we end this episode. So hopefully this will conclude the Ottoman saga of this for quite a while to come. And yeah, hopefully that's it for the Ottomans. Hopefully they will have not much more impact on the story going forward, and then next up we should have final end to the Russians. Once that's done, it's not gonna be much. I'm not gonna need much to push over the Prussians and the Danes. But I'm thinking here that we should prepare our enemies for what they're about to receive by handing over basically all technology, so they're on par with us. So while I fight the Ottomans and I fight the Russians, they will perhaps have at least some time to reorganize and build up their forces. And Jesus Christ, they got a lot of cannons in Norway. God knows why. And I wonder where the rest of the Danes... I mean, as I recall, the Danes have a really large navy. Their king is a genius. How many... This is like Isaac Newton level amount of stars. Not religious? Well, that makes sense. And he's exceptional. Dude is exceptional. Oh, that makes sense also. St. Patrick, 3+ management for naval administration. That makes sense why Denmark has such a huge navy comparatively to what we have. Huh. It's just a shame that they're doing -16 in their capital, so it's only has a wealth of 2,000. Norway actually has more, but that's probably a lot due to mining. Huh. Poor little Denmark. If it wasn't for this, I mean, Denmark would have been quite powerful. They're about to open up another one of... Yeah, they're opening up this town right here. Anyways, let's not... We're not playing as Denmark, are we? So let's not talk anymore about them. In between episodes, I will take a look if I can solve the problem with the Ottoman turn taking so long. Probably by crashing their economy, by taking out Ankara in Anatolia, because they're making so much money out of this province. And then also perhaps doing invasions along the coast with my navy to blow up all these holdings right here, hand them over to God knows who, and just create a mess within the Ottoman Empire, and they'll hopefully then no longer be a threat for quite a while. Enough for me to end the campaign. And on that note, I will say, like I always say, hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and hopefully I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye.